Jackson Radio Show.
News keeps coming at us fast and furious, and I'm going to apologize in advance to the audience listening to my show, Kevin Jackson here, KJRadio.com, because there's just so much. And, as we start a topic, I think, okay, this is this will be just an intro little, hey, this happened or whatever. And as we just start to develop it and I get into my head about it, I think this is deeper than I originally thought. Because when we prep the show, my producers will go, well, here's a topic we can cover, but it's really not newsworthy beyond just saying, oh, Madonna just tried to have a baby or whatever. You get what I'm saying? But then you find out, what's trying to have a baby? First of all, who's going to be with Madonna? And then how old is Madonna? Like 95? And so then as you start getting into it and digging deeper, suddenly you find yourself going, this is a bigger topic. Good example. When they gave me this Sharpton and the Black Panthers are going to protest President Trump, we just talked about it. I thought to myself, okay, we'll just say that and that's the end. But as you think about it and you start thinking about, well, why are they protesting him? And have they looked at what he's actually doing and what's the motivation behind a protest that black people shouldn't be participating in? If there's anything, they should be throwing Donald Trump a parade. And then suddenly I'm out of the segment because it was a short segment in our first segment at the top of the hour anyway. But that's where we find ourselves. Anyway, here's what I do want to talk about right now. I want to talk about the two very bad things that are going to happen for the Democrats. But if either one of these two things occurs, the Democrats are in huge trouble. Now, here's what I should have done if I had done radio the right way. I should have teased this at the end of last segment, and then maybe some people wouldn't have dropped off from the first segment because, see, that's a heck of a teaser. I'm going to give you the two things that cannot happen. Either one of these two things happens and the Democrats are in trouble. Dun, 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 dun. Then we wait and go to commercial. But no. So here's the deal. Two things that if they happen, Democrats are toast. Number one, an indictment of any Democrat. Any Democrat related to this Hillary Clinton, whatever. If there's an indictment, that's it. The dam breaks. Secondly, ending the Russian collusion investigation from Mueller. Any one of those happens, the dam breaks. Now, the reason why I set it up this way to kind of explain it to you is this is the reason why neither one of those things has happened. You're saying to yourself, doggone it, there's somebody should be indicted. Uma Abedin or Cheryl Mills, Hillary's lawyer, how'd they get, immunity? What about all these FBI guys? Shouldn't they, if somebody be indicted? It's one thing to fire and reposition them. I think we're up to 12 now in the FBI where that's happened. But shouldn't somebody be indicted? And oh, by the way, the next thing that goes beyond comprehension is you're saying, how does this Russian investigation continue? The House Intel Committee says nothing's done. There's no collusion. We all know there's no collusion. All the collusion points to Hillary Clinton and her team. Why is it that we're still doing this investigation? And I just told you. If either one of those two things happens, it's the end. It is truly Armageddon, to use Nancy Pelosi's word. It is Armageddon for the Democrats. When Mueller has to finally admit, by the way, he's their guy. Everybody knows this. There are more pictures with Mueller and Barack Obama and Comey than Trump has with prostitutes. Okay? You get what I'm saying? So when they get to the point where they have to admit there is nothing there, then what happens next? Well, wait a minute. There is something there. Maybe the second prosecutor comes in or special counsel comes in or whatever, and he goes at that. And then if there's nothing there and we go looking at the other direction and we start digging into the FBI, well, we go back to number one, indictment of Democrats. A guy tweeted this. Since framing Trump for Russian collusion has failed, the left would now like to try to impeach Trump for obstructing their attempt to frame him. And that's truly what you're seeing here. They now, he wants to fire Mueller. He wants to fire Mueller because Mueller has nothing to talk about. Then it was funny now Donald Trump saying, I'm not firing Mueller. Again, he's saying, why would I fire Mueller? The only thing that's going to happen is this is going to end. It's going to end on its own terms. And Trump is smart enough to say, you're going to end it, which means it's definitively over. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask Sessions to put a special counsel together to look into the real Russian collusion. And what happens then? I go back to number one, an indictment of many Democrats. When either one of those things happens, folks, things are going to go south for the Democrats so quick, there's going to be blood on the streets of D.C. The left will realize they've lost a big battle and possibly the war. And that's why you keep hearing me talk about this. That's why I keep reminding you that this is not a good year for the Democrats. Now, Mike Flynn is back. I touched on it earlier. And a guy wrote this, I think his name is something Pundit. And he says the biggest, baddest dude in Washington, D.C. might be President Trump. But Mike Flynn's running a close second. And this is according to FBI insiders who think that Flynn is about to start talking. And they said in talking about the FBI and what exactly went down during his ordeal with the Bureau's Andrew McCabe-infused investigation. Those unflattering details, insiders reveal, will bring more unwanted turmoil and public scrutiny to the embattled agency, especially the FBI's actions wielded against Flynn, which likely involved illegality and corruption. You guys, you've watched Law and Order or some police interrogation thing where they just beat you down, and you'd say, well, Flynn's a 3-star general. He's not going to get beaten down. Oh, yeah, you can all be beaten down. It's like somebody saying, I could withstand the torture. You can't withstand torture. The only thing you can ask about torture is how long can you hold out? That's it. That's why when they say things like those are the Iranians or whoever, the Middle Easterners, you torture them, they'll do nothing. That's nonsense. There's a way to get to everybody. Everybody. And it might be through their kids, it might be through friends, it might be through a spouse, it might just be the sheer pain and agony of what is being done to you. But there's a way that you'll eventually talk. And the only question is when, how long can you go? So don't hold Flynn in any more esteem than anybody else. He's a man. But at the end of the day, let me tell you this. It's going to be proven that this guy was railroaded. They say when he gives up names, it's going to be pretty bad for the left. I don't know. I agree, by the way. I say when Flynn starts asking for his records and saying, I want every bit of evidence you assembled against me and who did it, the chain of people involved, I want all that evidence. And when that occurs, I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to see this. Or I should say to see the cover-up of, well, no, we don't want to release that information or whatever, because Flynn's attorneys are now entitled to it, especially in the light of him saying, I'm going to, I may have to issue lawsuits against people, personal and professional. Who knows? Anyway, word on the street is D.C. is very afraid.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.